Well, here we are in Walt Disney Concert Hall, actually in BP Hall.
BP.
Which is BP, which is, of course, where all the pre-concert lectures happen. It's fair to say that Walt Disney Concert Hall has really changed the concept of how a hall should involve people. When I first saw the designs for Walt Disney Concert Hall, I remember being absolutely blown away and hoping on some, I think, unconscious level that somehow I could be a part of it. When you worked on this, did you design the hall from the inside out or the outside in?
Inside out.
Inside out.
Yeah, no, I never designed from the outside in. When people look at the buildings I designed, they assume it's designed from the outside in, that I make a form and jam stuff in. And I think a lot of my colleagues do that, maybe, but I don't.
How did it feel for you as you started to see what had been your vision become a reality?
So I didn't know. I knew we'd done something right when the building was about 2/3 complete. And I came in and sort of eyeballed the soft spaces, the voids, and quickly in my mind kind of calculated that it was the same amount of absorption and reflective surfaces. And I called EP and I said, there's something special right now. Do you have time to come by the halls and look with me? We walked in and he brought Martin Shelfor, and Martin we all had hard hats, and Martin went up on where the stage would be and did unaccompanied Bach. EP and I were sitting way at the top and we were holding hands. We were so scared. But EP burst into tears at that. I was really moved by his passion about it. You and I and EP sat in the orchestra the day of the first rehearsal.
Yasu Toyota is on your right. There's you and then me, and we're sitting, the three of us are there, and we are looking incredibly tense. The playing starts, and a look of joy just comes over both of our faces, and we start hugging and we're crying.
Yeah. I was watching the bass player because I knew that if we could hear the bass sound, we're in. And I was watching him and he went, and I was happy. And then EP stopped the orchestra about 5 more minutes in, turned around and said, Frank, we're going to keep it. Let's keep it. So.
What's the one thing that stands out in your memory the most about the opening concert?
I can't help but remember the taking the bow with Esa-Pekka and Yasu and the confetti and all that stuff. I'd never experienced that before. Architects don't do that very often.
But you must have also had a special, pride isn't even the word. We had designed those programs together.
Yeah.
You were the artist. That's why you were up on the stage. You know, I don't know if people know, but you know, you are one of the most regular concert attenders I know.
Yeah.
What do you think now, looking back 10 years later, is the most successful aspect of the hall, from your point of view?
Well, I think the clarity of the sounds has got to be numero uno. And the relationship between audience and performer is right up there. So when the orchestra, it's subtle. When the orchestra is full on, they feel a receptive audience because the audience can hear them. They feel it. It's like theater. You feel it. It's like when you give a talk. You feel that you're coming across. And when the orchestra hears that and feels that, it makes them play better, believe it or not, I think. And then when you look back at it, you say, well, I don't know how that happened. And people say, well, what are you talking about? How can it not? But I think it's true. The intention was people to people, people to each other, people to the orchestra. That was the most important part that I thought I could deliver. But then I made intuitive responses.
You made to me, a deeply meaningful and now famous statement, and that is, as we were working on this project, from early 2000 on, you said, let's make this a living room for the city.
Yeah,
what did you mean by that? And then looking back, what happened?
Yeah, I felt there was a need for a place that people felt comfortable, would like to come to, that became an iconic destination, that people would identify with it and feel like it was theirs. And so I thought of that term, the living room for the city, because we needed that. And so the hall itself became the living room.
What did it mean to you from a musical point of view?
Well, it meant that the music was more accessible to a lot more people. And it followed in your programming. As that response happened, you guys started evolving a programming that was experimental and much more accessible to young people.
Frank, thank you. We always have fun together, and
Yeah.
what a decade
Let's
it's been.
keep doing it.
Let's keep doing it. Let's have a second great decade.
I'm on.